I'm not here to hear what he has to say. That was what rang true, loud, and could not have been more honest, coming from the judge who was already predetermined that my client committed fraud before we even walked into this courtroom. I'm not here to hear what he has to say. Then why exactly am I being paid as an attorney, and why exactly are taxpayer dollars being used in this courtroom? The answer is very clear. Because Miss James wants to stand right here like she did this morning and call my client a liar, call the company fraudulent, and make a name for herself.
Hey there, guys. Welcome to the channel. So President Donald Trump and his insanely overworked attorneys, they just dropped a pretty big bombshell in the New York courts, and this may actually be something in the civil trial, at least. But before we get into it, guys, thank you so much to everyone that's been subscribing and leaving such great comments. Really appreciate the support. If you haven't joined us already, help us to continue to grow. Like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. So yeah, this could actually lead to a mistrial in the civil case. And if you guys aren't familiar, that's the fraud case. It's civil, not criminal, for a lot of reasons. We've done videos on that. But this all comes from a news report about the judge's head law clerk. And if you guys don't know law clerks, they're lawyers who, you know, many of you do know that this person has been pretty contentious issue for both sides. Anyway, it appears that she has far exceeded her political contributions limit. And they've all been to Democrat causes and Democrat candidates. And just a reminder, this is what they put Dinesh D'Souza in prison for, by the way. And but that's another couple hundred topics altogether, videos. But so when the attorneys for Donald Trump found out, they brought it to the judge, and he completely lost his mind, defending his clerk, as he should. Really, you know, you'd expect nothing less. He's got to defend his people. But the truth is, and a truth which I'm sure the judge is realizing now that he's had some time to reflect, his clerk has allegedly committed serious violations that could actually get her disbarred and get her removed from her position. Have a look at this.
Well, let's get up to date to find out what's going on in that New York courtroom for Donald Trump's case. According to one report, the judge knew about a 72-page complaint filed with the New York Bar Association against the judge's top clerk, Allison Greenfield, who may have violated judicial rules that prevent officers of the court from making excessive political donations. Allegedly, the judge issued the gag order against Trump, even though he was notified of the complaint via email, and he has proceeded to fine Trump since then. The corruption is staggering. Is it corruption? Let's find out. Let's bring in Alan Dershowitz, professor emeritus at Harvard Law School, author of the book War Against the Jews. Alan, is this corruption? Just bring us up to speed on what's going on over the last couple of days in the court.
Well, it's just part of the whole process of let's get Trump. Let's do anything in our power to make his life legally miserable. Look, gag orders are presumptively unconstitutional. A defendant has the right to speak out, particularly if he's running for president. And if he has something that's negative about a law clerk, hey, law clerks are part of the government, and government employees are not immune from criticism. If there have been complaints against a law clerk, it's perfectly okay to make those complaints public if it's permissible to make them public under the law. And so this is really selective injustice. And in general, I would hope that Americans would become very suspicious of gag orders. They're designed mostly to protect judges and law clerks and people who work in the judiciary from legitimate criticism. And nobody's above the law, and nobody's above criticism. Yeah,
and this judge is, some of the things we've seen and heard him say over the years, it's baffling why he wouldn't recuse himself.
Yeah, so there you have that. And honestly, guys, you know, we should all look at this very, very carefully, both sides, because, you know, both the Trump supporters and the TDS-inflicted detractors, because this is a pretty textbook case for a mistrial. And, you know, there should have absolutely been recusals in this case, many, many of them. And this really does have the look of real and serious bias. And really, a mistrial is the only thing that makes sense if the state really is serious about this case. Because honestly, this is the exact kind of thing that will blow up in your face in any appellate court. And really, I think to that point, if this does not end in a mistrial, it's only because the state really has no interest in whether or not this case in the end actually sticks, whether they get to hold him accountable. They don't care about that, in my opinion. I guess that the state, all they really care, they want to notch a conviction so that Letitia James can claim that she kept a promise, she got Trump, and the left-wing machine can just pound the drum of a fraud civil conviction. And, that's, of course, exactly what they want. And that's how they've stacked the deck. My take, honestly, is that this was never meant to be anywhere near a fair trial. And they really don't care if they get caught out. They really don't care what we think. They really don't care what it looks like, as long as they get the W, at least for a short time. At least they can claim a W. But that's just my take, guys. Let me know yours in the comments. And if you haven't already, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. And we'll see you in the next one.